In this class, we're going to cover some tough topics. This class can get heavy, especially during a pandemic. This is definitely the first time I've ever tried to teach this class during a pandemic. The subject matter and the literature are evolving, but the basic outlines of the relationships between these three main topics that we're going to be focusing on, the environment, human security, and conflict, are clear. And as clear as I've seen, definitely within social science, but in other fields as well. It is a normatively important topic. It is one that is not necessarily always easy to talk about. It can seem too big of a topic to even want to really start to wrap your hands around it. And what we're going to try to do in this class is to break it down piece by piece, this more complicated story, into individual relationships and links in a much longer and larger chain. This class is the first hybrid class I've ever taught. It's the first class that we've had these challenges over the course of the semester. I really did not think that I'd be here trying to do this here, and I'm sure you weren't planning on sitting in front of a computer and trying to stay interested in someone talking for long periods of time. So we're all trying to figure this out together. Hopefully over the course of the semester, we will both get better at doing this thing that we're trying to do here. Over the course of the semester, I want to make sure that you try to take care of yourself. Self-care is one of those crucial things that can get lost in the hustle and bustle of just trying to survive day to day. The ANU has made a lot of resources available for students just normally to try to face the challenges that students face while at university. But there's also a special COVID-19 webpage that they've created for additional sources of information that people can benefit from. All this will end one way or the other, this class as well as your time here at the university. Hopefully you'll be able to have an in-person ceremony in Llewellyn Hall when the time comes. I used to be the HDR convener for my department, shepherding all the PhD students through our process, and as part of that I got to go to graduation every semester and watch both undergraduates and graduate students walk across the stage and get their diplomas. I remember doing that myself. It is the culmination of all these kind of days and all the kind of balancing acts that you have to do, studying, working, sleeping, and just trying to survive. And it made me think. I've heard a lot of commencement speeches, and all these graduations seem to have similar elements to them. The commencement speech is probably one you've seen, famous commencement speeches on YouTube, probably Steve Jobs, Oprah, all of them have given commencement speeches. But I think in trying to frame how to approach the class and how I'm approaching the subject matter that we're dealing with, I thought of David Foster Wallace, an American author who wrote Infinite Jest, a book back in the late 1990s. Very famous American writer. He gave one of the best commencement speeches, another one of those heuristics for trying to understand the approach that we're taking in this class. He gave this commencement speech 2005 when the freshman undergraduate students were about 2 years old. Anyway, the main point of his commencement speech, which is called "This is Water," I think is a great way to think about one of the main takeaways of the class. Namely, that the most obvious and important realities are often the hardest ones to talk about. I've linked to a speech, an animated excerpt of the speech. There's a complete link for those of you who want to watch the entire thing. And after you watch it and while you're thinking about it, I want to try to get you to think about how we're going to link the discussion that he has about meaning and reality to the subject matter in the class. A lot of these four elements, right? Water you might take for granted. How does this have meaning or reality to your life and to the kind of topics whether this or one of the other elements that you're going to be talking about over the course of the semester.